No, wait, let's go live.
Well, that's something, just
No,
minimize.
don't minimize, exit out because. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. This is Jamie from Miles. He's going to do this today because it's hard for me to design.
Yeah, this one's better. I want that Wendy's triple.
I think once you go live, you don't have to choose it on here. No, don't minimize, exit out. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Don't forget to turn it off when he says adjourn, when you adjourn. Turn it off, we'll have to start it again on the next one. Now we're ready.
Alrighty, public notice. Notice of public meeting of the Liberty County Commissioners Court, Liberty County, Texas. We have a public meeting on the fiscal year 2021 proposed budget for Liberty County, Texas. And after much contemplation, number crunching, paper airplanes being thrown, spitwads and everything else you can imagine, through COVID and everything else that goes with it. But we have a budget prepared for your consideration. As you know, what used to be is no longer. There was once upon a time a rollback rate. There was once upon a time what they call an effective tax rate, and then what we called our set rate that we operate with. And normally, well, for the last 6 years, it's been 0.5788, and it has not gone up. Although appraisals sometimes go up, our tax rate remains the same. Now we have other considerations. I think it was House Bill 3. Thanks a lot, but it works. But we're capped at a 3.5% growth. Can't exceed that unless we have voter approval, and we're not going to go across that bridge. But it's not good business, and we can live within our means. So 2020, the property tax rate was 0.5788. 2021, the property tax rate will be 0.5543. So it dropped. Okay. We were able to go to the 3.5%, so we can't exceed that. So even with going up to that number, new property, looking at the numbers, actually our property taxes, more revenue for property taxes was raised than last year's budget by amount of 3.3 million, almost 3.35 million. That's 9.03% increase. But with a cap, property tax revenue to be raised for this new property added to the tax roll this year is 1.8 million. So anyway, there it is. The new property tax rate for 2021 will be 0.5543. And we're watching other entities too, just to, for nothing else but comparisons. I haven't seen anything yet. Anyone exceed the 8% or try to exceed to the 8%. I know a few talked about it, but I have a good feeling that, and Brother Ricky and I have talked about this before too, that I believe they will get a spanking in the new legislative session if they even try. So we're behaving and we're going to live with what we have. If you look on the second page, the no new taxes rate, 0.5295, the voter approved rate, 0.5544. So we're just under the voter approved rate. In other words, if we got to that, we'd have to go and ask the voters if we could exceed that. So we're not doing that. Look at our debt rate for 2020,
was 0.0253 this year. And, the new budget 0.0236. It's gone down a little bit, but we take care of our business quite well. Now, with that being said, we've added a few things this year. I'm sure that hopefully y'all had the opportunity to look over the budget. If there's any questions, feel free to jump right in. As you know, we did vote to go out with a certificate of obligation to build a new sheriff's department and a new MP3 constable's office. And that will be probably starting around the first of the year, maybe just a little bit after that. And it's a welcome sight to behold at this point in time. We've been needing it for quite some time. And there'll be other projects we'll look at as the year progresses. But right now, we're going to get our focus on that. Also this year in the budget, you're going to notice that we've taken over the jail. Well, after 25 years, Chief, is that about right? About right, okay. 25 years of having contracted operators for the jail, well, Liberty County is going to take it back over this year. So when you look at the budget, you're going to notice a lot of numbers that reflect the jail budget itself, and we're walking into some uncertainties. Things that since we haven't done this in 25 years, we're going to exceed what we think the number will be in the budget. In other words, we think it's going to be $100. We're going to put 150 or 125 because you just do that. It's good business to have a little bit more of an expectation where your costs are unknown. Go ahead and figure that it's going to be above what you think it'll be. That way you're covered. And so with that being said, at the end of the year, we'll look at it when we have the final audit. And I anticipate we're going to fall in pretty well with a surplus at the end of this year, this next year. And as always, the final audit occurs after this books, the year closes out on September 30th for the current budget. And then we'll have the audit of the entire year. And we normally get it back around March or April, sometimes May. And we always have money that we return, which is a surplus, which goes back into the fund balance. It's all on paper. You hate to say it that way, but it really is. You don't actually see dollars. The sellers, even though I'd like to see real dollars being passed around, but you just don't do that. It's all on paper. But with the jail budget and the uncertainties that go with it, we exceeded a little bit what our expectations would be. So we're covered. But we do anticipate a pretty good surplus on that because we always save money throughout the year. Other items that we looked at, we're adding some personnel to different departments. Since we took over the jail, at midnight, September 30th, we take over the jail. We knew that our legal side would be delayed. So we've added more personnel to the county attorney's office because I'll tell you the truth, Matthew's been run ragged this year. So it's Cat. And that is something that's going to be their purview from here on out, to have attorneys that are able to take care of any litigation that comes through the jail. As we know, we get these pretty regular because I get process servers that come to my desk and drop things on there and tell me I've been sued, which is pretty regular. But that's going to be helping Matthew and Catherine and everyone in the county attorney's office. Other places, in the sheriff's department, we did add 4 people. We tried to do this last year, Sheriff, we got it done this year. Very easy to work for a license and weight. So there you go. I'm glad we got that done this year. That's going to help the commissioners out in enforcement on their roads.
As you know, throughout the year, we have reports where overweight trucks run. We can't catch them all, but now we're gonna be able to hopefully catch them all. And with license and weight divisions with the sheriff's department, working with the commissioners, we'll be able to catch these people that are tearing up roads. You know, a lot of folks say it's with it, you know, how old the road is or how it was maintained over the years. And I look at it this way, Liberty County is no longer just a rural farming community where rice trucks and a few dump trucks run up and down the roads. Now we have these heavy haul trucks that decide that they want to take off and follow the GPS on their, mounted to the dashboard of their big truck. And they're running what, sometimes, Mr. Wilson, about 110,000 pounds. And we have limits. So now we will catch them and they will be fined. And that will be another thing that Mr. Poston and his group in the county attorney's office will be doing the prosecuting. It's time. Other things, I know we did add some more money to the commissioners for each of the precincts for materials. I think we increased it by about $100,000 each. I don't think there's anything else we looked through here. Oh, one other item that we did do, and we've been trying to do this for 5 years. And we finally found a way that we could have the revenue that, you know, as the old saying goes, I'm going to cough, but eventually I'll cough it up. And this wasn't, for the first time, wasn't hairball. Okay, it was the real deal. But we've been trying for years to get a step pay for law enforcement. And in that area, where each 5-year increment of service as a certified peace officer, then they will receive a stipend that exceeds their regular salary. This is hopefully to keep attrition from happening with law enforcement. And this is not just the sheriff's office, this is the constables. This is courthouse security. This is anyone that is a certified peace officer will receive a step pay. But not only that, they also have their other increment pays that go with that. You know, their master peace officer, for instance, and those things. And then there's also longevity that everyone receives. But still, we're hoping that this will keep us from losing good officers that come in to work for us. Eventually, we're going to try to go in and include the entire county employment. But right now, this is the best we can do to stop people from leaving the sheriff's department, the constable's departments, you know, DA investigators, county attorney investigators, courthouse security, anyone else that is a certified licensed peace officer in the state of Texas. All right, open it up for discussion. Does anyone have anything right offhand? All right. Did I miss anything, Matthew? I can't believe I
I
did.
think that's all the big ticket items, actually.
Yeah, the biggest ticket item is the jail itself.
Yes.
And I'll just elaborate on that just a little bit. We did go out for with RFPs earlier this year, and with anticipation that maybe we'd have a few jail operators that wanted to come in and bid. And as y'all know, in 2015, when 3 of us showed up here on court, we didn't have a current contract with CEC, which was our operator. It was a month, mostly it was a month-by-month contract because it had not been negotiated. We went back and went out for RFPs. We came back with a solid contract that was pretty much unheard of as far as cost, you know, $46.85 a day per inmate.
So it's $1 million a year.
So what happened, it went out for RFPs this year, and it came back about $3 million more than what we were expecting. We operated really on about a $4 million budget for the jail. It came in right at $7 million. And there was some guidelines in there with the jail operators were saying that a minimum of 250 inmates per day. We couldn't take that. It's one of those deals where you say that's calf rope, that's enough. And we decided, discussing it, to let's take it back over and run it ourselves. I think we'll do a better job. For one thing, we don't have to worry about a profit margin, do we, Sheriff? We're just working on a per diem number. And we don't have to worry about GO corporate or CEC corporate or anybody else running our business for us. The sheriff runs it, real simple, with the commissioner's help and county attorney's help. We put together a really good transition. And I want to thank y'all too, Chief Nealon, Sheriff Billy, Knox, Captain Knox, and everyone else that was working with us on this. Catherine, Matthew. It was a big group that actually sit down together each week and work through the problems of taking the jail back over. And it's a smooth transition. I think it worked out real well. And I believe right now we have all our bases covered. So, Morton, I know you're here with us today. And so September 30th at midnight, when you get the keys, here we go.
Yes, sir.
New chapter in the history of the county. So it's exciting, but at the same token, you know, it's a little bit concerning to all of us, but I think we're going to be just fine. Any other questions about the budget?
I haven't got any questions about the budget, but I will make a comment on the jail transition. After not operating the jail for 25 years, it's no easy process to transition back into it. Judge Knight, he started meetings about 5, 6, 8, 2 months ago.
2 months ago, yeah.
And I tell you what, the sheriff's department, Don and Billy and Penny and Matthew and Jay, they really amazed me that it's going to be such a smooth transition. Because it's, you know, just talking about it don't sound like a big deal, but when you transition to jail from 280 inmates, 290, back to, and then working up the budget, I thought they've done a really good job.
Any other comments or concerns? All right, and this is just a public meeting on the proposed budget. We're not voting on it right now, so anyway, if there's no other, well, I like this.
I'm sorry, that's fine.
Well, if I had an apple, I could probably do it. Anyway, we'll close out the
Can use it though.
public meeting on the proposed budget, and we'll move on to the proposed tax rate for Liberty County for the new fiscal year 2021 proposed tax rate.
Jamie, you're gonna have to stop it.